Hello friends, how are you today? We're going to be talking about my predictions that I made for NVIDIA and the Forex prediction, the USD against the Yen. So we're going to be talking about that, and I will also be giving you some more information about the possible incoming days that are awaiting us, how the finances might play out, what to expect, and what trends could develop. So of course guys, I always recommend you to watch my previous videos, especially the very first video of the month, because that's where I publish basically the most important and critical information. Not only to read my charts, but also I give out extra details that I only give out in those first videos. So you need to watch them, because otherwise it will take a lot of time for me to just explain all over again everything. So today is the 7th of October, and we saw that NVIDIA, even though the day behaved more like a range, which is exactly that, it still was a very powerful and decent impulse, considering we jump, especially in the first hour, very good, and we close even higher. So we got the 6th and the 7th of October consecutive green days. Actually, you can count even every single day basically since the week started. Maybe not so much for Monday, but every other day is basically green, even though it's either dominated by range or the position is kinda yellowish at the end, where the price tends to kinda weaken. But yeah, we have at least two consecutive powerful impulses. This is very good, guys. Of course, this is due to the election effect. The markets are really loving the fact that Trump won, because he kinda represents more stability for the US and by extension most of the economy of the world. I mean, you are seeing it right now. Many other countries are aligning themselves to this new development. So it's really important, guys. Never take that out of the picture. It's very important what happens. It's just a mix of all the events, of all geopolitical stuff, of every other thing just can affect finances. So we're going to see, for example, that tomorrow is going to be the last day of the month, and this belongs to this big yellow circle right here, 3 consecutive days of yellow energies. And we could expect the 8th of October be maybe more relaxed, maybe more not so much of could be an uptrend, but I think it's going to be a more relaxed day, an actual range where the price ends exactly where it opens, maybe. And the really big surprise is going to come on Monday, the 11th of 11. Now, like I was saying in the beginning, you guys need to watch my first videos, because that's where I give the most critical information. So, just briefly, what I am thinking is going to happen on the 11th of 11 is going to be something really crazy. Now, I'm not talking about extreme apocalypse scenario or whatever. It could be a crash, because it could also be that, but it could be a massive pump, a massive uptrend. And I say that because that's the day that appears in all my predictions, not just stocks, not just Forex. It appears in all my predictions, cryptocurrencies, indicators, and it seems to be a very important day. It's basically Monday, so it will be very interesting how that Monday plays out, because whatever happens on that day will basically give us a general picture of how the rest of the week is going to be, and potentially even how the rest of the month is going to be. So that day is very significant in my opinion. It could be a massive disappointment, like a complete range day, which could be actually very crazy, because I don't think that's going to happen. I mean, the fact that it's showing up in all my predictions is already telling me something very big is coming on that day. It's also very numerologically important day, basically the 11th of 11. So never discard that. It's also very interesting esoterically. So yeah, That's the overall outlook of what I can see happening in these very few next days. The next week, like I was saying, really depends on what the 11 does. But outside that, we have basically potential for a green week. It also happens, it depends on what happens on these yellow days, the 12th and the 13th of October. If they are either very range or very volatile days, but if they are trending upwards, maybe that could mean that it's a strong signal of a green week. The only days that I think are potential for corrections are the 13th or 14th of October. And the 13th could be actually maybe a range day or a yellow day trending slightly downwards, and the 14th of October could be a very volatile day, because you guys know that whenever we have a day shared by opposite circles or opposite energies, it basically means lots of movements are going to happen on that day, lots of energies from both circles. So yeah. After that, we see the potential worst week of the month, which could be the next one after that. Red circles kind of tend, or at least are showing in my prediction chart, that are going to dominate that week, 18 or 19 and 21 or 22. Let's hope it's not a really bad week. I think it's going to be an uptrend month easily. But we always need to be prepared for the dips, and especially because when dips happen, it's the best opportunities for entries. So there's that. And finally, let's take a look at my forex prediction. And before I begin detailing this prediction, again, remind you all to subscribe, share, and like. Hit the like button, especially guys. That helps me a lot. You have no idea how it helps, so hit the like button. Okay, so for example, we saw in my last update, of course, every single movement right here is basically thanks to the election. You can see the massive pump right after the trend of Trump winning was becoming very clear for like everyone to see. There was no room for any doubts whatsoever. And it just keep climbing higher, guys, in the 6th of October. So we have, just like NVIDIA, we have 2 consecutive green days for the forex currency pair of the USD versus the Japanese yen. So it's a very interesting development, since obviously the US is really looking very strong compared to Japan, especially Japan, because right now Japan has some kind of geopolitical turmoil. Their elections are kind of messy. Their situation is not the best, but Japan is Japan, guys. So Japan is a superpower. Once was an even bigger superpower. Well, maybe not so much of a superpower today, maybe more like a great power, but back then it was a real superpower. So I am very confident that Japan will never fall. At least not like many people are actually thinking that it could happen. I mean, once you're a superpower or a great power, it's very hard to fall down the rankings, especially if you're a very competent nation whatsoever. So anyways, we see, for example, today it's a very, very powerful dip. This kind of dip I was expecting for tomorrow, actually, because you can see that the next day after that is a red circle, the 8th of October. So I was expecting that to happen. Now the worst case scenario is that we could actually get 2 consecutive red days, meaning today and tomorrow potentially. That will be the worst case scenario. If that does happen, I don't think the price could go lower than this level, than this support level. It looks very solid to me, especially since it's shared by most, at least all of the days that we have for November and the final 10 days of October. So it's a very strong support zone. I don't think that's going to be reached or broken. But the next days, on the 10th of November, we could see kind of a yellow day, relaxed day. You guys know that's Sunday, so it's going to be a very brief day. Maybe not a lot of stuff, more like a relaxed kind of thing. But again, like I was saying, be prepared, guys, for the 11th of November. This is also showing up in my Forex prediction. Now this prediction has it in a solid red circle, meaning that both 11 or 12 could be red days, but there's more of a chance of a very volatile 12 of November to be a very, very volatile day. You are seeing it right there. So it's two energies sharing one single day. So it looks very, very to be a very volatile day. But when I said about the 11th of November, whatever happens there, it could actually start on that day and consolidate on the following days. Or it could actually start maybe on the 10th of October and consolidate by the 11th of October. All I'm saying is that this date and dates around this date are going to be critical for something very big, very powerful, maybe even historical. Maybe the gold or stocks or the S&P 500 or index or even Bitcoin could reach a very, very powerful new all-time high on that day or very near that day. So that's really my warning and that I want you guys to pay attention to that day. It's showing up everywhere in my predictions. It's not a coincidence. And after that, we see maybe more of a pattern that we'll have to wait and see how it pans out. But at least for that week, we can see that we also have potential green days on the 13th and 14th, especially another very volatile day on the 13th of November. So yeah, that's basically all I have to say, all I have for you today, and just want to remind you all again to subscribe, share and like, and I'll be seeing you guys next time. Take care.